Oh, shut up. Patience, patience. Everyone will get a chance to pay their dues to Lord Hamley.
The small and dry apple.
I'm just a shepherd's daughter. I have no business here.
Shut up! Bloody beggars.
I want to go home.
Oi, you there! Yes, I meant you. That's a pretty face you got there. You're coming with me.
What? Leave her. Take me instead.
Well, whatever. You'll walk to the other side of the yard and talk to Walter. He'll get you settled. And don't you dare stray from the path.
Right. Hi guys, welcome back. They demand more than they need, while the people are starving.
They say Lord Hamley might lose shiring soon. What if the next Earl has us all hanged?
Calm down. None of these royals
Haven't been to this
really
area
care
since
about
Jack
this
was a kid.
shithole.
I know those two. They used to fight for father.
Listen in on
What
conversation.
about Bartholomew's children? There's a lot of bad blood there.
Well, the boy Richard is dead, has been for years.
And the lady Aliena?
Don't make me laugh.
Keep listening.
Oh, I think you underestimate her. Some years back I heard she almost cut up a priest in Winchester, put a knife to his throat and robbed him dry. Oh, she's a fury.
And you're a sissy.
Approach the knights.
May I interrupt?
What is it?
How can you fight for someone like William Hamley? My father was nothing like that tyrant.
Oh, dear Lord, it's you.
You always sat in your neat little keep playing hostess to his well-off guests, while the poor snuffed it just as they do now.
Well, at least William treats us as his equals, and not like pawns on aboard a nine-men's Morris.
Was father really such a cruel Earl? Was my father really that bad?
Was my father really that bad?
Your mother could have answered that question.
He once told me that she was very unhappy when she died.
And you never wondered why?
I'm here to talk to Lady Regan Hamley.
I'm here to talk to Lady Regan Hamley.
She's in
Regan.
the keep,
But only Lord William and Walter are allowed to go there.
and they'll kill you if they find you there.
So you won't help me?
We've already helped you more than enough by not ratting you out.
True. My father was a good Earl.
My father was a good Earl.
Keep on telling yourself that. But that's not our story.
Many knights fighting for him were former outlaws who had nowhere to go anymore. Your father may have given us food and shelter, but it was no better than what you'd give to livestock.
Leave.
Don't tell anyone that you saw me.
We won't, if you promise to leave now.
Okay.
Are you done yet?
Almost. Let me just see if I took enough. What are you doing here? You need to leave. Don't come any closer. William has me watched.
What's taking so long?
I forgot the pork. I'll be out shortly. Wait a moment, then follow me.
Okay.
We don't have much time. You will look for me any moment now.
Are you alright?
Are you all right?
If they see me with you, they will kill me. Please, you need to leave now.
Among other things, I came for you.
King Stephen has declared a truce with Empress Maud. William's tyranny is over. This land might finally see peace again. There's also another reason why I came. To talk to Regan Hamley and to get you far away from here until things are settled.
What will become of me then?
You could help me with my business.
My brother will become the next Earl, but I'll run things alongside him. At the same time, I don't want to give up my wool trade, so you could help me there.
I want to help you. I really do. But I don't know how. I feel so useless.
Run to Kingsbridge. They will help you.
Run to Kingsbridge. They'll help you.
I can't. William's men would see me if I tried to leave. I tried already. Please, let me stay and help you.
Can you take me to Lady Hamley?
Can you take me to Lady Hamley?
I wouldn't know how. Hugh Axe is watching me. He would never let you through. Only Walter and I are allowed inside the keep. Why don't you ask him? Walter.
Walter? William's dog?
Don't call him that. He's not as bad as people say he is. William won't allow me to talk to him anymore. Now Lady Regan is all I have left.
I will talk to Walter then.
I will talk to Walter then.
Hurry up in there! Or do you want me to come in and pull you out?
I need to go.
Elizabeth seems to trust Walter. What's so wrong about him?
No.
Eat what is fed to them. Can barely look.
Oi! Sod off! You have no reason to be here. Oi! Sod off! You have no reason to be here.
Elizabeth told me you would help.
Elizabeth claims you aren't such a bad person after all.
Am I not? Have you forgotten that I killed your family's steward?
You got problems over there, Walter?
Take me to Lady Hamley.
I need to talk to the Lady Hamley. I want you to take me to her.
You've got guts, I'll give you that. But why should I listen to you?
Tell your guard to stand down.
Tell your guard to stand down.
So, you think I'm a nice bloke? And you think Lady Hamley really cares for someone like you? Don't make me laugh. Hugh!
What?
I will do better than William Hamley.
I promise, once my family is back in charge, things will get better for everyone. Or do you really not care for all the starving people?
I don't believe you. But it's not up to me to judge these things. I'll take you to Lady Hamley. She'll decide.
Excellent. Nice. We did it.
My lady?
Elizabeth, could you get me some water, dear?
Yes, my lady. But first, I need you to wake up, my lady. There is someone who wants to see you. It's the
Santa?
Lady Aliena.
Oh.
The Lady Aliena. When did
Ooh, her
that
face.
bitch become nobility again?
Harsh. Show pity.
I didn't know you were so ill.
Oh, don't you dare.
I'm certain you've heard about the treaty the king made with Duke Henry at Wallingford Castle.
This isn't going to be easy.
I have also heard that it's a muddled mess.
It is a complicated deal indeed, but one that will end the war. And one that makes my family the rightful owners of this earldom once more.
Only by word. There's no one who would come to enforce this, not even the king.
The people of Shiring will rise up.
You need to understand that there is great anger among the peasants of Shiring. Anger against your son, against you, even against that poor woman, Elizabeth. If your son doesn't step down, the people will take their land back by force.
That's a lie. My William is a better earl than your father ever was. To think that I once wanted to marry my good William into a family like yours. Not a day goes by when I am not glad that God saved us from that horrible fate.
Oof.
And that he sent that monk to Bishop Waleran to unveil your father's evil plan.
Evil.
What monk?
That prior of Kingsbridge. Philip of Gwynedd.
What?
Please, my lady. You need to hear her out.
Oh, my dear Elizabeth. Don't you see what she is trying to do to us?
Prior Philip told you about my father?
Are you saying that Prior Philip told the bishop about my father?
Yes. He came to see Waleran in person. A messenger of God's great plan. And we've been in control ever since.
If you don't listen, things will get worse.
If you don't listen, things will get worse for everyone. People are starving because of your son. They will rise up and come for you. They're already attacking Kingsbridge. It's only a matter of time till they come here.
My lady. The Lady Aliena came here to make things better.
She has only ever made things worse. She mocked my son for wanting to marry her.
She had every right to deny him.
He's good to you.
If it wasn't for Walter, I'm sure William would have killed me already.
What's going on here? What's that bitch doing here?
She's trying to bargain.
She's trying to take everything.
Is she? Is she now?
Leave it.
Shut up, old man. Cut that whore up, Walter!
No. You brought this on yourself.
You bloody traitor! Someone get up here! Men! You will pay. You will all pay for this.
That was awesome. He's still alive. Oh, of course, the devil in the fire.
Is he dead?
He is. William Hamley is dead.
What now?
Now
party.
we tell his men.
Drop your weapons immediately!
Raise the banner!
The fox, nice. But there's still Bishop Whaler and what Philip did.
Everyone, listen! Lord Hamley is dead! The castle now belongs to the former Earl's family again.
What? You're shitting us!
It was the King's wish.
Who killed him?
I killed him.
He died by my hand. My name is Lady Aliena of Shiring.
Nice.
I'm the daughter of Bartholomew, the former Earl of these lands. I've been tasked to end the tyranny of William Hamley and restore order to Shiring.
Our occupation of Shiring has been made unlawful. Every attack on us is sanctioned by the King of the English.
So what will happen to us then?
You will help the Shiring people recuperate.
You will get your chance for redemption by helping the people of Shiring recover from your own cruelty, and by rebuilding their homes and tending to their fields.
Are you sure this is what you want, my lady? Forcing tormentors and tormented to work together might not end very well.
It's their last chance of redemption.
They can end like William, or they can learn to redeem themselves.
Well, you know what you're doing.
The tyranny of William
This is cool.
Hamley is over. In the name of the new Earldom of Shiring, the land will be finally healed.
Reinstatement of Eliana of Shiring. King Henry II, by the counsel of all of his barons and for the fulfilment of the Treaty of Wallingford, has decreed that Shiring and each township shall return to the owners from before the former Lord King Stephen's stewardship. Within the term fixed for its sovereignty, those to be in succession by blood of former Earl Bartholomew of Shiring shall claim the title. Therefore, Eliana of Shiring is to be announced Countess of Shiring in an official inauguration until her son becomes of age.
Now, send a messenger to Kingsbridge to let Prior Philip know that Shiring is finally free. What is it? Why are they laughing?
Uh-oh.
You can send a messenger if you want.
Ugly
But there won't be
Gervais.
much of a prior left when he arrives.
Sir Catface, get me a horse.
You snuck into Wells Castle with no one to support you. You talked to two former knights of your father. Elizabeth did not leave Earl Castle and stayed with you to the end. You ordered William's men to help rebuild Shiring. 2 more to go. Ooh.
The Pope believes we should either burn him or make him Bishop of Kingsbridge.
I have already taken matters into my own hands. My men arrested him while Kingsbridge was left unguarded.
While his friends took Earl's Castle.
Yes.
At least in his death, William Hamley was of use to you.
Chapter 20. The End. Shiring, the day of the trial.
Look at all these people.
Seems like they're enjoying themselves.
They never change. You drooling dogs should be ashamed!
Shut up, you old hag!
Ellen?
I'm not feeling well.
I'll stay with you. Go ahead, we'll come after you. Quick, you can't be too late.
Is your mother ill?
It's not that. This is where they hanged my father.
The trial begins. The judges. Brother of Stephen, King of the English. The Right Reverend Bishop Henry of Winchester. Her Highness, the Countess Lady Aliena of Shiring. Presiding over the trial, the Right Reverend Bishop of Shiring and Kingsbridge, Waileron Bygod.
Please. We have gathered here today before the eyes of God to accuse one of our own. He wrote in his book that the Church and the papacy are not necessary as intercessors between God and man. That God is in man. That all men are equal, and that each sinner is as close to our Lord as the Pope himself. Now, we ask God for his judgment. For his is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. Not ours, and not yours. You stand accused of heresy. Philip of Gwynedd, how do you plead? Answer!
I'm not guilty.
I am not guilty.
Innocent? He claims he's innocent. Your teachings speak another language. Guilty, I say.
I am deeply saddened. It may come as a surprise to you, but we had hoped to make you Bishop of Kingsbridge. Why has it come to this, Philip?
In part, I am to blame. I supported Philip in his early years. I demand that Philip be removed from his position of prior immediately.
No.
And that he remain in captivity until such time that Shiring and all of England have healed from the poisonous words he has dispersed.
No!
What? Yes?
Accuse Waileron himself.
You are accusing Philip because he has defied you.
I made him prior, and grateful he was not. But no, I accuse him because his teachings are false. And I intend to prove that Philip's decisions have been more than misguided in the past. Call in Remigius.
Oh no.
The Prior of Shiring, Father Remigius.
My bishop.
Tell the court, Remigius, what you have told me.
For many years, I served as sub-prior of Kingsbridge. First for Prior James, then for the accused.
What was your first impression of him?
I was offended by his bluntness and accusations during the chapter discussions.
What else?
Prior Philip did not hesitate to give refuge to the people fleeing Earl's Castle in the winter that our king died.
These are all
Is
the
that not a
decisions
good
that I
deed?
made.
A true Christian act?
You do not know him as well as you think you do, Lady Aliena. Today, that will change.
The future master builder of our cathedral and his woman were among those taking refuge. They were living in sin. They were unmarried and fornicating. Philip allowed them to stay.
Why would he do that?
I do not know, my bishop.
Maybe because he himself was involved in similar affairs. We'll see.
Then, on the day of our first fleece fair, we were attacked.
I heard. It was terrible.
I tried to soothe the woman's pain by reading the scripture to her, spell on her with poisonous herbs.
And Philip intervened?
Yes. He pushed me aside and gave the woman poison.
He should hang!
It is worse than I thought.
It was no poison.
And then there was the day the Virgin Mary's statue arrived in Kingsbridge. I did not believe it was a miracle.
The Virgin Mary of Kingsbridge. It's a miracle. The Virgin Mary herself spoke to me.
Me too.
Clearly, it is a miracle. I hear of many who were healed in Kingsbridge.
Uh-oh, Remigius.
Yes. Amen. Oh, Mary, bless us all.
Well, I soon realized it was a true miracle, but Philip did not. He was only after the money people donated at the Virgin's shrine. That is why I left.
He had to. Amen.
I believe there is one more thing you have not told us about. Something very important.
Yes. Philip has fathered a child.
Unbelievable. I knew it.
A son. And he raised him in the priory.
He is guilty.
Jonathan of Kingsbridge, step forward.
This is preposterous.
Is it?
Is this true? Are you Philip's son? Answer the question, Jonathan of Kingsbridge.
I have no father.
I have no father.
Everyone has a father.
That may be. But if Philip was my father, he would have told me.
How do you know he did not lie to you?
Speak.
Philip would never lie.
Philip would never lie. He told me that I was found in the woods.
In the woods? Is this true, Philip? Or are you lying? Well, you told the story so many times.
My brother found him in the woods.
My brother found him.
Your brother? Had he not been working for Earl Robert of Gloucester? You have not seen him in a long time now, have you? Let us ask your brother if your stories are true.
Francis?
Francis, what happened to you?
This is not your fault. He does this to hurt you.
By God.
Francis of Gwynedd. He was arrested more than 15 years ago. He was arrested for conspiring against his own master, Earl Robert.
Remove the prisoner.
and I told Earl Robert. For God and the Church cannot take sides in these conflicts. Only one brother has been tried so far, but both of them conspired against Earl Robert.
Earl Warren.
And his ally, Earl Bartholomew, your father, Lady Aliena. Philip took in all those refugees years ago because he was to blame for their fate. As he was for yours when you lost your father and your earldom. That, Lady Aliena, is the man you are trying to protect. Well?
Forgive Philip.
I know that he is a troubled man. We've all had to make hard decisions. Decisions that seemed right at the time. When indeed, they were terrible mistakes. I am thankful that I was forgiven when I made a mistake. Now I forgive him. Let us now return to the problem at hand. There is a man who witnessed how Jonathan was found in the forest. A man who can shed light on who Jonathan's father really is.
And who is that?
My husband.
Step forward.
Come on, Jack.
What is your name?
He is the master builder of Kingsbridge.
My name is Jack Builder.
Have you lost your courage?
No, I have not. You know well why it would be hard for me to face you. They call me Jack, after my father. My name is Jack Builder.
Yes, we have met before.
How old were you when you allegedly saw Jonathan as a child in the woods?
12. But I know what I saw. Philip told the truth.
You were a child. And what were you doing there, in the woods?
I was living in the forest, with my mother.
They were outlaws.
Prior Remigius is the most trustworthy witness we've seen today, and his statement was quite damning to Philip. The distant memories of an outlawed child cannot convince me otherwise.
He fathered a child!
Let him go!
He would never do that!
And yet, Lady Aliena is right. We do not know enough to judge him as harshly as you proposed, Bishop Waleran.
You are right, Bishop Henry. As I said, it is not up to us to judge this man. Philip of Gwynedd has pleaded innocent, but how innocent is he? We ask God for his judgment. As Bishop of Kingsbridge and Shiring, I demand an ordeal by fire.
This is madness!
Philip of Gwynedd will be tried and judged at the stake. If he is innocent, God will save him from the flames. If he is not, then he will burn as the heretic and sinner God has declared him to be.
No! Waleran, by God! Not this time.
It's her.
I saw the child and Francis. I was there. Philip is not the child's father. He is a fool, but he is a good man.
Then, who is the father?
Tom Builder.
They are all in this together. This woman is a witch and an outlaw, living in sin with a thief. He was hanged in Shiring 30 years ago.
He was not a thief. He was a good man. You've murdered him, Waileran, by God.
What is this nonsense?
He was a thief. He stole a golden chalice and melted it down and sold it.
What chalice?
The chalice of the Eucharist. He stole it from the Cathedral of Kingsbridge.
Sacrilege.
Yes, Prior James of Kingsbridge caught him red-handed.
Prior James confessed to me he lied.
Prior James confessed to me the night the cathedral burned down. I was there, I saw him.
Prior James died weeks before that.
No, he did not.
What proof do you have? Is that the chalice? You said it was melted down and sold.
Fall not for their lies. That could be any chalice. This does not prove a thing.
Where did you find this chalice?
In a secret chamber. We believe Prior James hid it because he felt guilty for falsely accusing Jack's father.
Bishop Henry, he speaks the truth.
Order! I will give you until sunset to produce a witness who can prove your accusations against Bishop Waileran. Not just this chalice. If you fail to do this, I will make sure you are tried for defamation. Philip of Gwynedd, you will stay under arrest. The trial recommences at sunset.
Okay.
We need a witness.
What are you doing there?
I've seen you draw up plans for a cathedral. Maybe we can do something similar to find our witness. Let's see. Your father.
He looks just like you.
My grandmother said he did.
And Bishop Waileran. What are the connections? Maybe, by exploring them, we can find a witness.
Good idea.
Jack's father. If he was still with us, he could be our witness.
Maybe he still can. If my father had not come to England, none of this would have happened.
Perhaps.
Or maybe it would have happened to someone else.
That's true. Waileran would have hurt others. He's responsible for all this. And we'll prove that.
My father was younger than I am now when he died. Waileran will pay for what he did to him.
Bishop Waileran is at the center of all this.
Waileran is a man who thinks of himself, not of others.
We must find a witness or Waileran will burn Philip.
Waileran is a man who thinks of himself, not of others.
Jacques Cherbourg, help us save Philip, please.
My father was younger than...
We must find a witness.
Waileran is a man who thinks of himself.
Okay, I'm stuck. Wants to see Philip burn his death.
We must find a witness or Waileran will burn Philip.
Mother says Waileran was behind my father's death.
And she said he wasn't alone. There were 3 men responsible for your father's death. Bishop Waileran, Percy Hamley, back then he was the Sheriff of Shiring, and Prior James of Kingsbridge.
If they were all there, then they were all witnesses.
And only Wayleron's still alive.
Hardly a coincidence. Why would these three men work together to falsely accuse your father?
He was on the White Ship. No one survived that night. No one lived to tell the story.
Yes. He was the sole survivor.
And then they killed him. But why? And what about the ship? Now, what about Prior James? If only James was still with us. He regretted what he did. Maybe he would have helped us to save Philip.
In a way, he is helping us. Without him, we would not have found the chalice.
I think I understand now why Philip warned us against mixing religion and politics. God will judge him for his sins. I think I understand. William Hamley's father.
Percy Hamley was involved in all this.
But the dead don't talk.
True. What we need is a witness, a living one.
Why would Wayler, Percy, and James be concerned about the White Ship?
The son and heir of King Henry was on board. So were other possible heirs and other members of the royal household. I heard that Stephen was supposed to be on the ship as well, but became ill. He was the only male heir. The only threats were the king's daughter Maud and her half-brother Earl Robert, and they've been at war ever since.
And your father, Earl Bartholomew. He was a threat. He tried to stop Stephen and paid for that with his life. Maybe my father saw something on the White Ship. Proof that Stephen was involved.
What about the king? Do you really believe the king is involved in all this?
Well, that would at least explain why Wayler asked Bishop Henry to be part of this trial.
Right. He's Stephen's brother. They seem to have known each other for a long time.
As a child, I thought the king would be a hero. Like Alexander the Great.
What kind of man would kill so many for a wooden throne and a crown?
As a child...
Stephen always claimed that it had been God's will that he was not on that ship. That he remained as the only male heir.
That wasn't God. I bet Stephen had a hand in the sinking of the ship.
Now imagine what would have happened if he had learned that someone survived. Someone who might have seen what really happened that night.
If the White Ship is involved, then it's likely that Wayleron was told by King Stephen to murder your father.
But he was not king back then. Why would Wayleron listen to him?
He was promised to become bishop.
Of course.
Remember, Bishop Henry is Stephen's brother, and back then he was already one of the most influential clerics in all of England.
But if Bishop Henry is in on all this, what chance do we have to turn this trial around?
It is a public trial. All we want is for Philip to go free. We find a witness to expose Wayleron. Henry would have to play along to appear innocent.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
It's our best shot.
If Stephen was responsible for the sinking of the White Ship, then he may have wanted the only witness of what really happened to disappear.
But he wouldn't have done it himself, of course.
No. Do you think the king told James to arrest my father?
No. I find it much more likely that James was instructed to frame your father by Wayleron, his superior. As Archdeacon, Wayleron was much more involved in politics than James would have been.
It's possible that King Stephen asked Wayleron to kill Jack's father.
Do you think Stephen would have approached Percy directly?
Because of the white ship? To help him cover up his tracks?
I don't think so. I think it's more likely that Waleran contacted Percy. Just like he did when he wanted Percy to arrest my father.
What kind of man would kill so many? The King of the English. A ruthless murderer.
If the king is behind all this, what chance do we have to stop Waleran and save Philip?
We must do our best.
If Stephen is involved, then his brother Bishop Henry would be as well. It is unlikely Prior James ever met the king.
Is King Stephen behind all this? Then what about his brother, Bishop Henry?
As a child, I thought...
My father was right about Stephen. I don't think the king was very close with Percy. Otherwise, there would have been many...
Jacques Cherbourg, help us save Philip, please.
My father was younger than I am now when he... If the king is behind all this, what...
We must do our best.
God will judge him for his sins.
So, what about Prior James and Waleran?
Waleran was not yet bishop when the hanging
Right.
took place. He was archdeacon. Philip told me.
But James still had to do what Waleran told him to?
I think that's very likely. How are Prior James and Percy Hamley connected?
Not at all, I would guess.
Except through Bishop Waleran.
Yes. He needed James to arrest my father and Percy Hamley to hang him.
Now both of them are dead. That can't be a coincidence. Waleran was James's superior.
James was the prior of Kingsbridge.
That's where they say your father stole the chalice, melted it and sold it.
But we know that's not true.
As we found it, Philip recognized the chalice.
But Bishop Henry wants a witness. The chalice isn't enough.
But it's an important lead for us.
Okay.
James claimed that your father had stolen the chalice and sold it. But instead, James himself hid it in Kingsbridge, in the crypt.
We found his scourge in a bed down there.
That secret chamber is important.
I think I understand now why Philip warned us against...
Everyone thought Prior James was dead. That he broke into the ice. And now we know he was hidden away.
Why did his monks believe he was dead?
Sub-Prior Remigius told everyone he had found James' rosary by the river. So everyone thought the body had been washed away. They buried an empty casket.
But how is Remigius involved?
Philip told me that Remigius was there when Waleran made Philip prior. Waleran and Remigius knew each other.
That explains why Waleran later made Remigius prior of Shiring.
And Remigius recognized my mother when we arrived in Kingsbridge. He must have been there at the time my father was arrested. I think Remigius knows all about this.
Is it possible that Waleran told Remigius to make Prior James disappear when James began to talk about what they'd done?
When James started talking to the devil.
But for some reason, Remigius hid him away. But Waleran never knew. Yes, that explains why he really didn't believe you. When you said you had seen James in the fire.
Where James died after all. And Remigius thought no one knew.
We have to find Remigius. He's our witness.
Wow.
Let's hurry. It's
That's
getting
very
dark
cool.
already. The trial will continue soon.
People know you two. You shouldn't walk around shiring like that.
He's right.
I'll go look for him.
All right. Take care of yourself.
And each
Jonathan.
other.
Yes?
We will talk later about what was said today. About Tom.
All right. Remigius. Now where are you?
Okay guys, I'm going to end it here. That was awesome. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye.